City Ghost Assured. 10 creepy places in London. Hey there, horror lovers. Welcome to Daily Horror. Here we bring you daily, diverse horrors and mysteries that surround our world, from past to present. If you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on our daily dose of spookiness. When talking about old cities of the world, London easily comes to mind. It's not only old, but also an iconic and glamorous city that's well endowed with heritage buildings, castles, museums, parks, and buzzing streets. And after sundown, some of the heritage monuments look spooky and haunted, conjuring up eerie stories and creating some unnerving feelings. These are the 10 creepiest locations in London. Number 10. Tower of London. Hear the shrieks of innocent prisoners. Tower of London is a famous landmark in London, located by the banks of the River Thames. This historical castle is officially Her Majesty's Royal Palace and known to be one of the scariest places in London. It's documented that from 1100 to 1952, the Tower of London was used as a prison by the royal family. Large numbers of convicts were tortured, beaten, and executed here. To date, visitors continue to feel unsettled, observe scary shadows, and get spine-tingling sensations in some parts of this castle. Some claim to have seen creepy shadows of spirits of Guy Fawkes, Lady Jane Grey, and Henry VI, and have heard the pain-filled screams of prisoners. In fact, many have seen the shadow of Anne Boleyn, the beheaded wife of Henry VIII, walking with her head tucked under her arm. If you're visiting, best be ready to be spooked. Number 9. Westminster Abbey. This historical church that's over 1,000 years old is located just west of the Palace of Westminster. It was formerly named Collegiate Church of St. Peter. This Gothic structure is not only one of the most important religious buildings of London, but a popular coronation place and burial ground for British monarchs. Over the years, nearly 3,000 people and 17 monarchs have been buried on the grounds of Westminster Abbey. The church looks ghostly and spooky after sunset, and people have perceived plenty of supernatural occurrences on the premises. Tourists have many times witnessed the ghost of John Bradshaw or the floating shadow of a monk known as Father Benedictus. In the south convents of the church, there's a marble statue of Daniel Pulteney holding a book. The scariest of unnatural events alleged to have taken place in the church are reports of the statue turning pages of the book. Bizarre? We thought so too. Number 8. Bleeding Heart Yard. The backstory that brings about the paranormal events of this place is as horrific as the name suggests. Legend has it that the mutilated body of Lady Elizabeth Hatton was found in the middle of the courtyard. She'd been killed and her legs strewn across the ground, but her heart still pumped blood. This gruesome incident gave the yard the reputation of the most frightening place in London. It's believed that the ghost of Lady Elizabeth still roams the area and still relives the day of her death. There are people who have claimed to have heard the painful and sorrowful cries of Lady Elizabeth Hatton, begging for help as her killers slowly took her life. It doesn't sound like the place for a leisurely stroll, but if you're up for some spine-chilling experiences, I suggest you find your way to Bleeding Heart Yard. It's sure to get your heart pumping. Number 7. Hyde Park. So, talking about leisure strolls, Hyde Park is an ideal place if anyone's feeling like taking a walk or having a day picnic in London. Though chances of seeing a ghost is as good as spotting a London taxi, don't worry, they aren't aggressive. It's an extensive 350-acre, lush green space dedicated for walking, running, or other related activities. Adjacent to the park is a burial ground with the graves of more than 300 pets. It's believed that some ghosts of the pets buried in the pet graveyard can be seen wandering the ground, and most times looking deformed and scary. A lot of people who visit the park have reported encountering unnatural and ghostly appearances, which have chilled their spines. Sightings of mysterious shadows are regular reports, as well as hearing creepy screeches, particularly after dark. Number 6. Spaniards Inn. Situated at one end of Hampstead Heath, Spaniards Inn is an eminent London pub, offering a world-class dining experience with vintage decor, wood panels, and lavish collections of wines and spirits. Spaniards Inn is one of the most haunted hotels in London. Spaniards Inn has some dark secrets. Dick Turpin, a famous antisocial of London, was a regular visitor here, and many of his crimes, quite a number of brutal murders, were plotted here. Visitors have witnessed several apparitions at night. The ghost of Dick Turpin and an unknown lady wearing a white outfit haunt the pub often. Number 5. Greenwich Foot Tunnel. It seems that the River Thames has one connection or another with ghosts and paranormal events. The Greenwich Foot Tunnel passed right under this famous river. It connects Greenwich to the Isle of Dogs, and without seeing any ghosts, just walking down its damp and narrow path will make anyone feel uneasy. What makes the tunnel a scary place is the apparitions of a man and a woman that frequent the tunnel. Witnesses claim they've seen the couple walking over from the other side. Unfortunately, no one can explain why these ghosts chose to make the tunnel their home, and no one knows exactly who this couple is or what brought about their death. It's said that they're spotted mostly late at night. Supposedly, their footsteps can be heard bouncing down the leaking walls of the tunnel. Maybe, if anyone dares to talk to them, the mystery of their existence can be solved. Number 4. Liverpool Street Station. The Liverpool Street Station is one of the always busy London Underground stations. It's said that it was built on a mass burial ground of plague victims, and this gave birth to rumors of hundreds of ghosts roaming the local area. Sometime in the year 2000, during the renovation of the station, the night shift workers claimed to have even captured a ghost on security camera. An employee went to investigate and found nothing, yet his colleague insisted he witnessed an encounter between the two on camera. He said he saw the two stand side by side on the deserted platform. A second visit to the platform again came up empty, except for a pair of white overalls on a bench. These apparitions are not limited to just workers. Some commuters have described witnessing a man in overalls patrolling the platform at night as if he's waiting for a train. What could it be? One of the dead from the plague victims? Or a possible train accident victim? Whatever it is, it sure wouldn't be fun to encounter the ghost of Liverpool Street Station. Number 3. Bethnal Green Station. These London undergrounds can never be ignored when it comes to talk of ghosts or hauntings. The story behind the Bethnal Green Station's haunting is a very sad one. During World War II, many Londoners found refuge anywhere the German air raids wouldn't reach them. The undergrounds were one of the best choices. One particular night, there was a suspected air raid, and as a result, people headed for the underground tunnels as usual. But unfortunately for those that went to Bethnal Green for refuge, the deafening explosions of the bombs started before they could get in. As a result, people rushed into the tunnel, and it collapsed. 173 people died due to suffocation. To this day, passengers and station employees have talked about terrifying screams filling the narrow passageways of Bethnal Green, and probably will for years to come. Number 2. Highgate Cemetery. Highgate Cemetery is famed for sightings of a vampire-like figure said to be roaming the cemetery, and is believed to be responsible for the deaths of all the animals on the grounds. But the vampire of Highgate is just one of the numerous ghosts that roam the cemetery. There's the mad old woman, a spirit that's often seen running frantically among the graves, her long hair streaming behind her. According to legend, she's looking for the children she murdered in a fit of rage. Then there's the shrouded figure, a morose specter that's usually seen staring up at the sky. If you approach her too quickly, she'll disappear, only to reappear a few meters away. Less frequently seen, but more menacing, is the devil ghoul. He's a ghost with a set of piercing red eyes and a habit of vanishing in direct light. Number 1. The Blackwall Tunnel. We've told you about the Greenwich Foot Tunnel, which is the home of unknown couple ghosts. Well, here's another tunnel that passed under the River Thames that's frequented by a hitchhiking ghost, the Blackwall Tunnel. If you think seeing a ghost is scary, could you imagine having a full-blown conversation with one after giving it a lift? Well, that's exactly what's been experienced by many travelers commuting through the Blackwall Tunnel. On several occasions, drivers, especially motorcyclists, reported entering the Blackwall Tunnel from its southern entrance and seeing a man with long black hair and motorcycle gear hitchhiking on the side of the road. After pulling over and offering him a lift, he then jumps into their car and starts telling them about how he's going to meet his girlfriend nearby, and sometimes even gives a specific address. Then, as soon as the vehicle passes through the tunnel, the passenger mysteriously disappears. But out of all the reported cases of conversing with this phantom hitchhiker, none are as creepy as the case of one motorcyclist in 1972. After becoming alarmed when his passenger mysteriously disappeared off the back of his motorcycle, he decided to head to the address the hitchhiker had given him. Once arriving at the house and speaking with the resident, he was told that a boy matching his description did in fact live at the house, but had been killed in a tragic motorcycle accident years before. Spooky? Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that victim won't want to give him a lift again. Which of these locations have you been to? And which of them would you like to visit to confirm the ghost stories? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and share the video. We'll bring you a fresh episode tomorrow. Be sure to tune in and be spooked. Be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss out on the next episode.